everyone, welcome to our channel. My name is Taylor.
I'm Blanca, and today is
Wicked Wine Wednesdays, where we talk about true crime and sample wines.
Today we'll be discussing the infamous Chris Watts case.
So if you like wine and true crime, don't forget to
Like, comment, and subscribe. So if you guys don't know, Netflix just recently released a documentary based on this case. We have been following the case for quite some time. We just recently watched the Watts family murders documentary. So we thought we would go ahead and talk about the Watts murders and dive into the interviews with Chris Watts.
Chris and Shanann Watts lived in Colorado with two beautiful daughters named Bella and Celeste, who also went by Cece. Bella, who was 4, and Celeste, who was 3. Shanann was also 15 weeks pregnant with a boy that they planned to name Nico. Shanann was very excited to be having a boy since Chris and her already shared 2 girls, and Chris has been wanting a boy, so she was happy to be able to share a boy with him. Since Shanann was pretty prevalent on social media, she posted in a Facebook video how excited she was that Celeste and Bella were gonna be big sisters.
Shanann had posted a video on Facebook which basically was a pregnancy reveal to Chris. So basically like telling him that they were pregnant again. She wore a shirt in the video that said, "Oops, we did it again." Well, nah, super cute idea. After that, she does hand him a pregnancy test that does show, a positive pregnancy, and he immediately looks at it. The whole time his reaction to is a little pleasantly surprised, not overly excited. But as soon as he sees the test, he's like, "Oh, does the pink line mean it's for a girl?" 2 kids later, really? Yeah. Shanann had been working for a company called Thrive. They mainly focused on health and shakes and protein. Basically just kind of your basic overall healthcare things that people promote on Facebook and social media. It ended up becoming such a big part of her life. It gave her the freedom to basically work her own hours. It allowed her to be a stay-at-home mom with the 2 beautiful girls, and then the next one on the way. Kind of your dream job at that point where you're making money but you're still able to spend time with your children. With the company that she did work for, like I said, being able to make your own schedule, it definitely gave her a lot of independence. It brought her a lot of happiness. She was so happy to basically just be at home with the girls, promoting all her stuff on Facebook. Pretty much every video she looks so happy and "Hey guys," type of thing. So it just, overall you could see the dynamic of her in the workplace, but basically still being able to be the mom and just an overall happy average person. On August 10th, Shanann went to Arizona on a business trip with some colleagues. Her friend/colleague had picked her up from her house and taken her, on the business trip. She actually was the one to bring her back home on August 13th around 2 a.m., which we do find out that's pretty much the last time anyone sees or hears from her again. And the only reason that we pretty much have that timestamp of everything is because that's when the doorbell catches her coming in and the friend dropping her off.
Shanann had a doctor's appointment that morning at 10 a.m. She ended up not showing up for that doctor's appointment. Her friends were trying to call her and text her and they were getting no response. Eventually her phone went off, which is pretty rare because her job includes her to be on her phone and to be constantly posting on social media. So when her phone went off, her friends were pretty worried because they're like, that's not like her at all. Shanann's friend and colleague, Nicole, began to become worried. So she drove over there and she knocked on the door and Shanann didn't answer. She also noticed that Shanann's car was still parked in the garage along with the girls' car seats.
Chris Watts ended up seeing Nicole coming to their house via their little security camera doorbell thing. He then gives her a call to basically ask her what's going on and why she's at the house. She basically tells Chris on the phone, "I'm trying to get a hold of Shanann, she didn't make her doctor's appointment, do you have any idea where she could be?" He then tells Nicole that Shanann took the girls on a play date and that everything should be fine. He then states to Nicole how he and Shanann are going to be separating, which was news to her. She did know that they did have marital issues, but she just didn't realize that it was that deep to the point of separation. After they get off the phone, it just didn't really sit right with Nicole, so she does call the police and basically starts to report Shanann and the girls missing. At that point, Officer Coonrad arrives to the scene and he starts checking the house, basically doing the same thing that Nicole did. Knocking on the door, checking all the windows, basically seeing if there's any activity or anything suspicious in the home that would allow him to enter without an owner's permission. Unfortunately, though, he didn't see anything except the dog barking and just a normal, plain, clean house. He then calls Chris Watts to tell him that he's at their house doing a welfare check, kind of asking if there's any access into the house. He does see that there's a digital keypad on their garage door. He does ask Chris for that key code. At that point, Chris does say that the pad doesn't work at all, the garage won't open, and that he'll be home shortly to let the officer in.
Once they get into the house, they notice that Shanann's purse is still there, along with her cell phone, which Chris says is her lifeline, as well as the girl's medicine, basically everything that you would need to take with you if you planned on leaving for a long period of time. Chris then comes out of the bathroom with Shanann's wedding ring on his pinky, like, she left her wedding ring in the bathroom on the bathroom sink. And Officer Coonrod's like, did she leave a note? And his face, you can see it, he's like, I should have wrote a note.
I won't lie. His face always makes me laugh because it's like a little light bulb that almost goes off, like, and you're just
man.
Oh crap.
That would have been a good idea. Stupid. Chris responds to him, no, there wasn't a note. Officer Coonrod seems to be getting suspicious of Chris at this point because obviously when a wife goes missing, especially with her kids, the husband or other spouse is the suspect because it only makes sense. Which in this case is a good thing because the husband was the suspect.
Officer Coonrod asks Chris to describe the last time that he saw his wife. At that point, he does state that Shanann got home around 2 a.m. and he woke up for work around 5 a.m. He then states how him and Shanann got into an emotional discussion in regards to their marriage because Shanann was upset that Chris wanted to end their marriage. The Watts had a neighbor that had constant security footage of the street, and you can also see clearly into the Watts driveway. So you could see anytime their cars pulled in and out of the driveway. In the video, you can see Chris backing up the truck into the driveway. At this point, the neighbor does start stating to the cops and to Chris himself that that's something that Chris has never done. He even specifically points out a point in the street where he says, this is where you park your car all the time, you never pull it in. Like, what was going on that day? Chris starts to make the excuse that he had just finished washing the truck and was just putting his tools back into the vehicle. All right, Chris. Whatever you say. We later find out that the reasoning for him pulling in the truck that morning was to put Shanann's body and the girls' bodies into the truck so he can go dispose of them at the oil site that he was working at. Disgusting. Shortly after making the excuse, Chris does leave the neighbor's home. Once he leaves the home, the officer did stay inside and continue speaking with the neighbor. At this point, the neighbor starts talking about how Chris is normally a very quiet guy, and today, like, for some reason, he's just won't stop rambling on. He then starts to state how Chris is acting off and just not normal at all. Officer Coonrad does try to tell him, put yourself in his shoes, and the neighbor goes, I mean, yeah, but no, the guy's not acting normal.
After Officer Coonrod talks to the neighbor about the security footage that he has, they end up bringing in cadaver dogs, and Chris does a news interview, I guess you can call it, with a news station, and he starts begging for the safe return of his wife. And he starts saying this weird thing like, if they are safe, they'll come back. If they're not, that's like what bothers him the most. And he says it like 3 times, something like that, and he just constantly keeps saying it. And to me, it's almost like he's just saying the same thing so he doesn't say something wrong. Let's take a look at the interview he has with the news station and kind of analyze his body language, and we'll tell you what we think.
Chris Watts, WATTS.
What's going on right now at your house?
Right now, you got K9 units, the sheriff's department. Everybody's like they're doing their best right now to figure out like if they can get a scent, see where they went. If they went on foot, they went in a car, or they went somewhere.
Yeah, that's why they bring in cadaver dogs, Chris, is to see if you're wherever they went. No, cadaver dogs are to test if there's a dead body, not to see where they left on foot.
So stupid.
Right now, it's just like they've been on point. They're going through the house trying to get a scent, and hopefully they can pick something up to where it's going to lead to something.
What happened?
where it's gonna lead to something. Let me raise my eyebrows right there.
Yeah,
because
no.
here's hoping.
So what I think he was doing, why he raises his eyebrows and he can like the way he swallows is because the dogs were barking, like the cadaver dogs, and he does that facial expression like, oh, the dogs
they
are
got
barking.
something.
Yeah, and it's like you can tell him almost like listening for the dogs to see if there's anything that they catch.
Which I think is funny because they're only trying to get the scent to see if there's a dead body in the house, but also the scent so that way when they take them out into like different areas where like could potentially be a dead body, like they're just getting the scent of it.
Yeah,
which is like funnier because then it's like, why are you freaking out so much about the cadaver dog going off in the house?
Yeah.
She came home from the airport 2 a.m. and I left around 5:15. She was still here, and like about 12:10 in that afternoon, her friend Nicole showed up at the door. Like I had texted Shanann a few times that day, called her, say, but she never got back to me. But she wasn't getting back to any of her.
I like how her phone was off though, like in the purse, and then how he's like, oh, well, I called and texted her. But I'm like, I feel like he only called and texted her to like make it seem like he was worried because like how they turned it on and how it wasn't like text messages of like somebody that was separating from their wife or something like that. It's just like, are you safe? Are the girls safe? Like, and why would you worry about their safety if they were just going on a play date and everything should be fine?
Yeah.
As well, and that's what really concerned a lot of people is like, if she's not getting back to her, like if she doesn't get back to me, that's fine, like she gets busy during the day, but she didn't get back to her people, which was very concerning. And Nicole called me when she was at the door, and that's when I came home and then walked in the house and nothing vanished, nothing was here.
Nothing vanished, nothing was here. Like
literally the only thing that was missing was the girls' blankets. That was it. And their medicine was still there. Shanann's phone was there. The keys, the wallet. Like, literally.
What do you mean, what vanished?
Because,
your kids and wife?
Exactly like what we said. Just, if you're gonna disappear, you're gonna take a lot of stuff with you. There was nothing that even symbolized that they left the house because...
willingly.
Yeah.
She wasn't here. The kids weren't here. Nobody was here.
What's your wife's name?
Shanann. S-H-A-N-A-N-N. Bella and Celeste.
Look at that look of like shame. It's like he couldn't even say
He couldn't say their name.
He's like...
He had to like swallow, like almost like his pride at that point, I think, to just even say their name. It's just like... And then even the whole interview, it's almost as like when they first showed up at the house. He's just very calm. It's not... If your wife and kids are missing, and even if you guys were like separating and you didn't, obviously,
like those are still your kids. Like your kids are gone.
Exactly. If your freaking wife and kids are missing, despite whatever the heck is going on, you would be distraught, completely like heartbroken, trying to do whatever you can to find them. He's very just calm, cool, collective. They'll return. They'll return. They'll be back. They will not be back.
Celeste.
Look at that hard swallow.
Can't even spell her name.
Bella's 4, Celeste's 3.
He really cannot talk about the kids. Like,
Did you try calling her?
I called her 3 times, texted her about 3 times just to say, what's going on. Like after I called her and texted her once, it's like, maybe she was just busy. Like she had just gotten back. Like everybody's probably calling her from her trip. She just got back from Arizona, and I figured she was just busy. But when her friend showed up, that's what it was like. It registered.
So I don't know if anybody else noticed this or if this was even mentioned in like any case, because in any part of the case. But like, doesn't that look like he has a scratch on his neck?
Oh shit, it does. Okay, you know what's weird though? Because I did, like, when you were, like, talking about it beforehand, I noticed it, but then I was like, oh, it's probably, like, I don't know.
Like a rash.
Yeah, like, I didn't think about it.
But I was staring at it this whole time. I'm like, I think
because
you can.
You can see the...
It's like a welt.
Yeah, like the right here. And, when you, like, scratch yourself, like, good, how it does welt up. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's sad is that's a tiny fingernail.
The reports do say he...
Do you think she just took off? Do you think?
I mean, right now I don't even want to just like throw anything out there. Like, I hope that she's somewhere safe right now and with the kids. But I mean, could she have just taken off? I don't know. But if somebody has her and they're not safe, like, I want them back now. Like, that's what.
If someone has them and they're not safe, I want them back now.
Like,
Can
who's
you
gonna have them?
can you go back and unkill them? Because you were the one that had them.
Yeah. And, like, if someone has them, like, who has that? Who would just, like, take a wife and kids and then be like, oh, I'm going to keep them safe? Like, come on.
There would be one, like, a ransom note if that. There would be a complete, your house would be so screwed up because of the fight the
somebody
mom would put
obviously-
up.
Yeah.
Because no mom would willingly let anybody come into their home and take their children whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like,
It would be a scene for sure.
yeah.
Like, if they're safe right now, they're gonna come back. But if they're not safe right now, that's the not knowing part. Like, if they're not safe, last night I had every light in the house on. I was hoping that I would just ran over by the kids running in the door and just, like, barrel rushing me, but it didn't happen. And it was just a traumatic night trying to be here.
Do you see how he's just talking about himself?
Yeah. And then,
I can't stand it.
yeah, it's literally not like, I want my, like, kids to walk through this door. It's, I don't know. It's just very, like, a me interview. Like, me.
I couldn't
I
sleep
was
last
traumatized.
night.
I was terrified.
I couldn't be in this house without them. I couldn't do this because I didn't have them. It's all very self-pity and narcissistic. It pisses me off.
Can I ask some kind of tough questions about your relationship with the kids?
I mean, yeah, my kids are my life. I mean, those smiles light up my life. And it's like, I mean, last night, like, during, like, when they usually eat dinner, it was just like, I miss them. Like, I mean, I miss telling them, hey, you got to eat that or you're not going to get your dessert, and just, like, you're not going to get your snack after. I miss that. Like, I miss them, cuddle up on their couches. They have, like, a Minnie Mouse couch and a Sophia couch that they cuddle up on and watch, Bubble Guppies or something. And it's just like, I was... It was tearing me apart last night, and I needed that. I needed that last night. And
I needed my kids to be with me.
Maybe you shouldn't have killed them.
Oh, he makes me so mad.
for nobody to be here last night and to go into their rooms and know that I wasn't going to turn the rain machines on, and know that I wasn't going to turn their monitor on, know I wasn't going to kiss them to bed tonight. It was. That's why last night was just horrible.
Finally, some emotion.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see how long that took. It took him pretty much almost 4.5 minutes to even get a reaction about his kids. Again, and the whole time he's just me, me, and me.
Yep.
I want.
But of course he doesn't shed a tear or anything. It's just a crackling of the voice to convince people.
It's
that
almost
he's
like,
sad.
oh, hold on. Did I make the horse voice yet? Like, do I sound sad enough yet? Like, if your kids were missing and you truly
and you shouldn't
love
have
them,
to try to be sad.
you would be like bawling your eyes out and going along with detectives and doing your own investigative work, because at that point you're just like, I want my own family back.
Yeah.
But you're just, I couldn't be in my house. I needed my girls back. Again, shouldn't have killed him.
Like, wherever they're at, come home. That's what I want.
Where was she gone for? She was on. She came back Sunday, 7 at 2 at night.
Yeah, because her flight got delayed from Arizona because of, like, other storms around the nation. She's supposed to get home like at 11.
So on this, you can see Chris almost coddling himself, like, I have to keep myself safe and don't want to get caught. And it's like a body language analysis. They say it's a self-soothing gesture. He's holding himself, rocking. He's very nervous and scared. Not sad and worried. He's nervous and scared that he's going to be caught. And that'll just ruin his character, right? Because Chris is all about his character because he's a narcissist.
So now that's 2 body tells if we're really keeping count, because now we have to take into account as soon as cops, again, already making excuses before he even technically walked into the neighbor's house about I'm bringing in a water jug and things like that. And instantly, as soon as the guy is playing a video, hands are behind the head.
Yeah, he arrested
Now
himself.
we're doing an interview and he's just like, oh my God. And again, at no point are you acting like a normal parent. You're just sitting there like, I needed my kid back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sorry, but if my kid was missing, I'd be like bawling and screaming on TV, like, where's my kid? Like, find them type of thing. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't have killed my kid, so.
Yeah, true.
She got home at like 1:48. Got to bed about 2.
What was she going for? Like family trip? Or
It was a Thrive direct sales. It was a local event that was down there between a bunch of leaders in the company.
that night, that day she was back. I mean,
I left work early that morning, like 5:15, 5:30. So like
So I don't know if you watch like body language analysis videos, but they say that like or like psychologists say that when you shake your head like no when you're talking about something that you should be saying yes to, it means that you're lying. And right there he's like, I left early for work at like 5, and he's
5:15ish, 5:30.
Yeah, but he's still shaking his head the whole time like, I actually didn't do that.
No, I
You know
have
what I
heard
mean?
of that, yeah.
she barely got into bed pretty much.
this might be a tough question, but did you guys get into an argument before she left?
It wasn't like an argument. We had an emotional conversation, but I'll leave it at that. But I just want them back. I just want them to come back.
Why is he laughing?
He's laughing and smiling. I just want them to come back. I just want them to come back.
It's so funny. Haha, I just want them back. Like,
They're
why
not
are
coming
you
back.
laughing?
Like,
why are you laughing? Sick. He's twisted.
And if they're not safe right now, that's what's tearing me apart. Because if they are safe, they're coming back. But if
Again,
they're not,
second time.
This has got to stop. Like
it was
somebody
probably, I
has
think,
to
the
come
fourth time,
forward.
because he said it, the third time, because he did say it twice back to back, so this is the third time.
Yeah.
You spoke to her family, her parents?
Yeah, they've been in constant contact, like every hour. I mean, everybody back in North Carolina and the East Coast. I mean, from Maine to Florida.
What is her parents saying to you? Like,
They're just like if they need to get on a flight, just let them know. Because I mean, they feel helpless right now because they're on the opposite side of the country. I mean, Colorado is. I mean, you can't just drive around and look. I mean, it's just like you wouldn't really know what you're looking for. That's what the cops pretty much told me. That first day, I was like, I want to get out and drive around. They said, you wouldn't know what to look for.
last couple of questions. What is law enforcement? What have the police or the sheriffs or your neighbors? Is anybody? What's police saying to you?
Right now, this is what they're doing right now is with the canines in the sense. I think this is the biggest thing. This is the biggest thing they've done so far because yesterday the Frederick Police Department did all the searching of the house and tried to gather whatever information they could. And with the detectives, officers, and sergeants, and today it's, I mean, obviously with all the activity that's around, it's there's a lot going on around here, and I really hope that all of this can lead to something positive.
What did your neighbors?
Does he feel like him getting himself arrested was something positive?
No, absolutely not, because he is so nice. He's trying to get out of jail already, only being a year and what, like 8 months in?
Yeah.
No, he did not want to get arrested, let me tell you that. Like, nobody is buying his BS.
Nobody is. Because
Nobody.
again, you're not showing anything that would even signify that you are a concerned husband and father.
Yeah, I think he's trying to play off as like, oh, I'm gonna be calm because they're just missing, they're not dead. I think in his mind he sees it as like, if I act calm, they won't suspect me that they're dead. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, oh, if I act calm, like they'll be like, oh, they're just missing, or like they just left. You know what I mean?
But again, so poorly executed because there was no note, everything's in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God. I really would like to sit down and interview him, and I just want to be like, where was your mind to make so many errors to literally just, the minute they walk in, immediately, I feel like immediately, the cops were like, this guy did it.
Yeah, for sure.
You see anything? Did you hear something?
You know, like we've the police department went door to door asking, like cameras and everything, just like nothing.
And my last question, if you have any, it's free to set, but my last question, if your wife can see this, if she can watch this, what would you like to tell your wife and your kids?
Shanann, Bella, Celeste, if you're out there, just come back. Like, if somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete without anybody here. Please bring her back.
He can't stop blinking, he can't stop closing his mouth, and he can barely say their names.
Yep. You can tell I want to say he feels shame, but I don't know if he does. I don't know if he can even have that feeling.
I don't even think it's shame, because he literally is like, if someone has them, just bring them back. So, who took them, Chris? Who in your mind took them?
I think he was trying to get it as like she took him on a play date, and it was going to be one of those things that she left, they were at the park or something, you know what I mean? And somebody took them. They don't, which still doesn't make any sense, but
no, because
I think that's when in his mind, that's what he was planning.
No, maybe. But again,
people got to it too fast. Sorry, Chris.
You revealed yourself a little too quick.
And I hope that you do not get out of jail, that you sit and rot there for the rest of your life.
I also think it's disgusting that you think it's cute that you have a photo of them and that you read to them and that you think you found Jesus. No, I'm sorry.
Jesus doesn't want you. Sorry, Jesus loves everybody, but not Chris.
No, at this point, Satan will gladly take you, and I can't wait for you to constantly relive your constant hell.
Yep. We're ready for that.
So now we're gonna go ahead and stop talking, because honestly, there's only so much that we can take of Chris and his stupid face. We can come back for part 2, going on about the actual murders, the police investigation, as well as his attempt to pass a polygraph test. Sure. If you guys are interested, then go ahead and let us know. Just comment below, and we will be happy to touch more on this case.
Now for a little bit of relief, we will be discussing the wines that we tried, and we'll end this video on a more positive note. So the wines that we tried today are, the one that I had is 19 Crimes. And it's pretty cool because if you download the 19 Crimes app, you can scan it and it'll actually talk. The picture of this guy, can you see him? Yeah. The picture of this guy will actually talk to you, and he'll tell you about the crime that he committed and basically just why he was arrested and what happened, which is pretty cool. So the wine is Cabernet, and I don't want to say the last part, Sauvignon, because I don't ever think I say it right. But it's dry, it's bold, everything that you like in a regular Cabernet. It also has taste notes of currant, berry, vanilla, with a little bit of caramel. It has a tiny bit of sweetness, but it's more on the bitter, dry side, which is what I like.
Not for me. I did take a sip, not my jam.
Oh, it also goes well with beef and lamb, apparently. I don't eat lamb because that's sad. But I eat beef, it's just still sad, but like,
I mean,
you know.
I get it, because like, I feel the same way. It's like, I feel as a humanity thing, like
I can't eat
always eaten like at least like, you know, your basic like cow, chicken, and pig, and I feel like those were like the three main meats.
Yeah.
So it's like that's only that I eat meat wise, at least. Like I don't go out of my way for like the duck or lamb. I'm like, that's so sad. Like I can't.
No, thank you.
So the wine that I tried today, that you guys can maybe see, it's an Italia Roscato. It is a red wine as well. It's definitely on the sweeter side. So if you like sweets, definitely your go-to, because I'm definitely more of a sweet person. It's got taste notes of berries, some red fruits, and it pairs very well with cured meats and fruits. So if you're like me and you like some wine and cheese nuggets.
What are they called? Charcuterie boards?
I was like, the little charcuterie boards. My fave, personal fave. This might be your new go-to. I will say though, it does have a little bit of like fizziness to it. So even when you pour it, you'll kind of notice that fizz of it. Definitely still very sweet though, but you will taste the notes of like the blackberries and the wild berries. Overall, just a very fruity and sweet wine. Definitely, again, perfect for that charcuterie board if you want to have a nice date night.
Charcuterie.
Charcuterie. It's a charcuterie.
Did you like it?
I loved it. I enjoyed it.
Cool, me too.
Yours was a little too dry for me, though.
Yours is a little too sweet for me, so.
I mean, I am sweeter than you.
True.
Our wines match our personality at this point.
I guess so.
Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we can't wait to see you next Wednesday. Bye!